Meantime, let's go murder some squirrels, cause when a swinger never settle for less than cracked jaws, I'm killing it everything, everything. Killing it, everything. Murder!
How go thy works?
What? You mean that poor sod at the Biltmore?
Oh, murder most foul!
You don't know the half of it. Me mate Carson was on the job. He saw the body. Or what was left of it.
Vile criminal! I needs must find the evildoer.
I envy your backbone. But Carson was real shook up. He said... Oh, never mind.
What?
He said he saw some... thing... dragging the body down the lift shaft.
There is evil afoot. 'Tis as if the very shadows swallowed him up.
Aye, poor bastard about soiled himself. I ain't going near that place. Couldn't pay me enough.
Quiet thy fearful heart. Forge thee a backbone.
Ha! Easy for you to say. You cogheads haven't helped at all. Is the builder's arm so short, or do his followers lack the stones?
Thou art most wicked. Prepare for the builder's judgments.
Relax, friend. Surely the builder's arm extends to those outside the order, and surely he'll aid the watch in our search.
Karis, steel my nerves. May the master builder forgive my quick words.
Well, back to patrol. We must remain vigilant till he be caught.
Aye, return to thy duties. I keep my gears grinding, not sitting idle and gossiping.
I envy your backbone too! Murder, 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 most foul. Oh no, oh hey, there's one guy in this square now. Never mind, I'm sure it's a fluke. That was a comedic cut. What am I doing? Oh yes, I'm gonna get lit like an egg head shaped plate with sausage on top of it. That's right. I mean, no breakfast. Oh, hey, I'm sure these guys are gonna turn right around because that's the luck square. You go in there and you get lucky. Because getting lucky is definitely getting lucky all the time. So, except when it's not, because it's the best, most wonderful thing ever, but also it's the most dangerous and terrible thing ever, and don't do it. But if you have to do it, have an incredible time. But don't. But do. But don't. This place is rather echoey. Still. Something must be done. Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, hey guys, I'm in a new place now. I'm in a new place. I'm in a ditch instead of in a house. No. The ditch is rather echoey. It's a very hard ditch that people ramp their skateboards off of and do trick ramp tricks. I'm sure that's what you call it. And anyway, they went into the square, lol, because everybody's in that square all the time. That's the friggin' joke. Arn and Strain. Well, I'm sure I don't know who that is. Wow. I'm at a loss for words. This is amazing. Stuff that you sold. King's Ransom. Whoa, amazing. This stuff is truly essential. So it should play Final Fantasy for 9 hours straight. Oh, yeah, this is the light place, and you can't turn on the lights because, you know, these are sellable lights. They don't have any outlets here. You don't want to demonstrate them because then you might see how inferior they are to other lights. Oh yes, this place is echoey. I've put up some stuff on the walls like I did in my old place, but it seems that hasn't really helped enough. That's some unfortunate junk. Yeah, it is. Good thing I don't have any recording projects on the go. Herp-a-derp-a-derp-a-derp-a-derp. Yeah, so I'm here in Victoria now, without no rehearsal, and without no car. I just have a bike. So, I have to bike in the... Also, there's this window here. Blip-a-derp. In the, Also, there's that rope there. Not climbing it. In the cold winter weather, whereby you go out for a few minutes and it's fine. But if you go out for more than, I don't know, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so, maybe less, you, your jaw right up by your ear starts burning blisteringly cold like freezer burn, and then you have to wear this specialized device where it covers your mouth and your nose and all your breathing holes and most of your neck so that the cold air doesn't come in. And as a special bonus, it also makes you look like a bank robber and doesn't stop the slow slide, so you end up, you know, just killing and killing and killing and killing and killing. That was a joke. Finally finished making a half dozen of the birdhouse wall lights. They're selling really well, particularly with the ladies. No wonder. It looks like a little golden birdhouse full of light. I don't know what else it would be full of. It's a light. You want it to be full of dark? Received in the King's Ransom pedestal light. Received in. What a work of art. It holds 4 candles and stands taller than I do. Has actual gemstones in it. As if the rest of it weren't pretty enough. It goes very well with the ceiling chandelier by the same artist. That chandelier holds 6 candles and looks like crowns welded together. Received in 4 of the electric brass table lamps, one each of purple, blue, green, and red. The stained glass lamps are selling very well. People seem to prefer the brighter colored ones, red rose, peacock, orchids, and so on. But the Camilla and ice chip versions also do well. Very elaborate. Sold the Tsarina chandelier to Lady Rumford. She wants 2 more, which are on order. It's no surprise. She's too old-fashioned to update her home with electric or gas. However, I cannot fault her taste. The ceiling chandelier holds 10 candles and has beautiful golden fretwork. Fretwork. It's a light. It has been quiet lately. Most of the town must be out on winter holiday. The Tsarina chandeliers arrived today. I sent 2 over to Lady R and installed the 3rd back in the showroom. It is a beautiful piece. I caught one of the customers trying to pry one of the gems off of the King's Ransom pedestal light. The guardsman didn't go easy on him and broke his arm. Still, it's not like he'll need it where he's going. Gah! When's the last of the plain gold candlesticks sell? I'm never ordering or making another one. They're so ordinary, the staff just steal them, knowing they can never be identified. Then, the owners buy them back from the pawn shop cheaper than I can sell them here. Those things just lose me money. Polished brass looks just as good and doesn't disappear nearly as often. Sold 2 more pairs of the polished brass candlesticks. Everyone likes beautiful gold candlesticks, but not the cost of the gold. Actually, I'm not going up there. Guess what, you guys? Not going up there. Whatever. I've clanged and I've banged and I've blown everybody's houses down. So much worse than blowing normal people's houses down. I've blown, you know, people who have an incredible amount of problems already just not being shot in the face's houses down, and therefore you should mock me for it. So, slightly offended. First of all, I don't know why slightly. It's a big city. Everything should be big. You should be big-fended. And that name looks like it's a pun, but I can't quite figure it out, so never mind. I'm sure that these people who make this mission love feminism, because feminism is just one thing, and very not confusing, and if you say you're a feminist, there's no ambiguity whatsoever, and so go ahead and say it. It'll make everybody happy and hug each other. Also, you're a worthless, utterly despicable, terrible human being who's just god-awful, insult-worthy in every single way, and everything you like and care about is stupid and terrible. And oh, what's that? You're triggered? Ho 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 ho! You got triggered by me saying something awful about you. You know. That's the way you treat a person. You see, it feels terrible. That's why you should do it, because being nice to people and respecting diversity and trying to be inclusive feels good. So that's why you shouldn't do it, and you should just rail against it online and make yourself feel awful and make everybody else also feel awful, so everybody loses. But on the other hand, think of the benefits. You make 0 sense and are totally illogical. Think of those. Uh-oh. On the other hand, Clara here is a grandmaster of fencing, so this isn't really whatever. Clara, you warned me. The postponing of our next expedition has nothing to do with some irrational superstition. You should know me better than that. I simply think it is wisest to wait for the thaw. Grubber's Pass is drifted shut, like as not, and trying to get a full team out there would be suicide. 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 You should stay in your abusive relationship. I'm sure you can fix it. Presuming we made it through the pass and into the castle, what then? The freezing wind and sub-zero temperatures would be a major distraction, to say the least, if they didn't kill us outright. There are also the lives of our loyal diggers to take into account. If we were so careless with their lives, we might not have any future expeditions at all without substantial delay. Do not labor under the delusion that this expedition is unimportant to me. Ancient languages with special emphasis on the Drimi was the subject of my dissertation, after all, and I am the current authority on the subject. Uncovering more knowledge of this fascinating culture is undoubtedly the greatest continuing work of my life, and I do not take it lightly, unlike this paragraph. I am also not comfortable hiring new diggers. As you know, it takes years of training to acquire the skills needed. I'm not willing to allow years of careful research to be ruined because some ham-fisted dolt swung a pick too hard. The brush, not the shovel, my dear. That's how you treat your hair. Boris, Pierce, leave the tramp to me. He wouldn't dare betray us. We both have our ways. And that's riposte, just a line that you say in a French song when you're a horse. And it's, I don't know what pun that name is. It's the hardest one of all. Okay, good. So, yes, good. Also, shake your feminine wiggle causer. Probably not a reference to the time I said that, but hey, whatever. I simply cannot abide this old fool's incessant hand-wringing a moment longer. The bumpy carriage ride home added insult to injury as I read through that condescending letter again and again. Yes, the brush. When a salivating vulture like Francesco, says the France man, is about to swoop in, there isn't time for such luxury. Does he honestly believe that a knuckle-dragging imbecile like Francesco is even in possession of such a notion? I wish it could be done another way, but the truth is, if we don't use the here, then our adversary will. Furthermore, if a shovel must be used, would it not make much more sense that it's left in our capable hands? More capable? If he will not see the logic in this, then I'm afraid he'll leave me no choice. Miller was murdered. I noticed his door was slightly ajar this morning on my way out, and I found him bled out on the floor. It looked like he'd been stabbed a few times. I've scarcely seen him leave his place over the past few months. Perhaps he was laying low and hiding from someone. I know he was an eccentric, but he was usually pretty friendly. It's hard to believe anyone would wish him serious harm. I very nearly investigated his apartment more, but well, there were some pretty strange sounds coming up out of the basement that didn't seem like they'd be very good for my health, so I got out of there quickly and reported it. Oh well, it's in the watch's hands now, and I have more important things to focus on. Jacobson came through. I've instructed his goons not to seriously harm Davidov. Or his wife? Yes, a wife. And to take nothing but the key. I even showed them mine, since it's virtually identical. I showed them mine. Since it's virtually identical. We we're gonna know that until... I never wanted to do this, but I know Francesco has his beady little eyes on us, and if he finds out about Davidov's tramp, then the Keystone is as good as gone. They're going tomorrow night around 10 p.m. No matter what happens, I'll get my way. If Jacobson's men bring me the key, I can tell Davidov I rescued it from the intruders and blame Francesco. I should then be able to convince him that we cannot afford to wait any longer. If the men cannot find the key, I'll still blame Francesco, and the outcome will be the same. Boris should learn to properly utilize my ample intelligence. I can't sleep a wink. I hid by the Fairbanks place and watched Jacobson's men enter Davidov's study window, but that was some time ago. I haven't heard any commotion, not a single sound. I can only assume that means Boris is sound asleep and they're still looking. Not bad for goons. What in the hell is taking so long? Would they dare cross me? Surely not. They have only one of the 2 required keys, and its twin is safely on my belt. My 3 Dayport fencing championship trophies, should dissuade them from desiring a tangle with my saber. This is not her accent, by the way, but it's mine, so piss off. If I'm going to do a female voice in my male voice that sounds absolutely nothing like feminine whatsoever, then I'm going to make sure it sounds absolutely, absolutely nothing like feminine whatsoever. Got it? Good. And since you understood, would you bite around if you dare? I get the paper, so I don't care. Whoa. Well, paper... it's good, but it's not ils for good, ils for gold. Also, that's a V, not a W. This isn't German, it's old Fringlish. Fringlish, back when they used to have in place of an F sound. It fell away pretty quickly after only a few centuries use when they realized it didn't sound very good after a few centuries use. So never mind that. And I guess you can turn off all the power. Except for this strange electric device over here. You can't seem to turn that off. Not really sure how that works. But never you mind. I'm sure everything is just fine. So, you end up going through this door, but first you gotta pick the door. It's amazing. And it's so picky that when you pick it, your ears will start to ring. Not the ordinary kind of tinnitus ringing, mind you, but a sort of ringing that you can stop by turning your head or by pushing your jaw up on one side. The sort of ringing that you go and want to tell people about, but then you can't because they go, well, I don't see anything, and then they end up just thinking you're one of those people who make stuff up, probably. And, also, furthermore, the high-pitched sounds such as s and stuff, you hear sort of stronger in your left ear. Not stronger as in you have actual better hearing in your left ear, but stronger as in it kind of like blows out as if you're speaking into a mic and it's clipping, but only in the one ear. And but oh, now I'm getting serious. Oh yeah, you're supposed to come in through that window. Well, that's one thing you can do anyway. Ain't there a book here? Hey, mister, ain't you got a book here? But, you know, these are just the sorts of things that bother you before you, absolutely splatter your face on the ground and never live again. So, okay, Mr. Davidov, sir. Mrs. Davidov said you weren't in, but she let me leave you this note. I been leaving the bottles on the sill like you asked me, but I've got a favour to ask. Begging your pardon, sir, but I was wondering if I could get an advance on the next few payments. I know it might not be the best timing for you, sir, but there's this ring I've been fancying for Jenny up at Sam's place, and I wanted to surprise her for her birthday. Sorry about this, sir, but times are hard right now. Maybe I could do some more work for you to make up for it. Again, sorry for the trouble. I'll be here for the next few bottles tomorrow. You can tell me then. Will. Jenny up at Sam's place. Oh, no, Jenny. We're not dealing with Jenny here. We're dealing with somebody else. Never you mind anything. Volume levels are odd. Hey guys, guess what I'm going to talk about? Volume levels. It's It's what everybody wants to know. It's the diva of penguins. Hey guys, you know, Hat in Time, it's an amazing game, by the way, and I've missed the release date because I don't follow any news ever, but I've been playing it recently. It's quite addictive and makes me sit my ass down forever and just go, one more extremely long and involved timepiece that'll take me 5 hours to do. Ah, yes. And then look at all these secrets in the middle. Gotta do all of those as well. Oh, it's freaking amazing, amazing, amazing game. Just like, oh. Yeah, this guy's like, oh, the power's out. That means something suspicious. No, it isn't, mate. Come on, it's snowing out there. The power lines are probably old and dumb. And Master of the Brush. Not a Dromed joke at all we talk about. No wonder Davidov is a fraud. He's only talking about Dromed. Digital computers, not real proper archaeology with a small chunk of metal and no computers at all. That's proper. Boris, just as I thought, my fact-finding trip to the Blackbrook Seminary is a bust so far. I can't glean any new information in their laughably inadequate library, nor even a single reference to the whaling keep in their restricted section. Calm down, my dear Boris. I can imagine your face tightening from here. Trust me, I didn't get caught. You know my ways. I've searched every nook and cranny of this place and haven't found anything of interest beyond a juicy scandal between the bookkeeper and some pagan harlot. Might come in handy if we ever need another favor. I do not like being this far from our investment. I've done what I can to stop the Hammers from investigating that apartment, but it's hard to keep the pressure on when I'm not there to give the stink eye. The sooner we get it out of there, the better. The landlord is at his wit's end, and I don't trust that zombie you hired to haunt the place. What if he breaks into the chest and finds it? He might decide that your generous salary of rot gut isn't cutting it and pawn it off. It might get destroyed, or worse. I can't believe it's not butter. The mere thought of that amateur getting his grubby little rat claws on our hard work is more than I can bear. I'll be returning to the city in a few weeks. I've got to check a few more leads. I realize our usual team might not be available, but we should assemble our expedition to the Whaling Keep the moment I get back and no later. Clara. P.S. I know you're too proud to admit it, but I could sense your fear when I mentioned the castle's alleged curse. Surely a learned man such as Davidov the Great wouldn't give pause to such primitive ravings. Yes, and a very nice novel. Square in places, but hey. Well, normal titles are normal. Sigh. This is how you sigh. First, you breathe in. It's a pretty standard cult. The cult of breathing. You don't want to join up with them. Unless you want to live. Sounds pretty cultish to me. And remember, you hear anything positive, it's a cult. So don't listen to it. You know, because the world is terrible, a priori, and anything you hear, see, or even experience that would contradict that for even a moment is wrong, and you're in a cult. And we're going to stab you in the face even more than we stab other people who are not just a bunch of white heterosexual males, okay? Great. Those are titles. Brother Thaddeus. Well, the pun meister himself, which I just made up. But the hidden gate, is that like a Stargate? And Faust and stuff. Well, alrighty then. I had to open a new crate for Will. Down to the last one now. Need to remind Edith to order more soon, or I'll have to start pulling from my own reserve. I really don't want to do that. Once he tastes Vera's brew, he won't be interested in the usual Burrick piss. Clara continues to press me about the expedition, and she's becoming more difficult to deflect. I've already explained the folly of trying the pass in the heart of winter, but even if we could get through, does she honestly expect me to work in that frozen hell at my age? It's an outrage, it's a scandal. My young Clara, her wits are as sharp as her blade, but she doesn't seem to understand that my body just isn't as resilient to the frost as it once was. She has tried every trick in the book to get me to crack, but as she says, I know her ways. Has she remembered nothing of what I've taught her over the years? Archaeology isn't done by some lumbering jack with a pickaxe. It is a canvas reserved only for the patient scholar, an artist who carefully paints the dust away with his brush, revealing the secrets of the ancients, save for memoirs. Speaking of ancients, I'm now fully convinced that the Wailing Keep, while a Sauralian structure, is built on the Drimian site, and the Sauralians... I ain't saying it's Sauralians, but it's Sauralians, are known to be adept at reusing precursor technology. I have compared the castle's geographical location to the maps found in Faust's Compendium of Ancient Civilizations, or FCAC, and although it doesn't lie directly in known Drimian territory, it is very close to the hypothesized border, which would explain the function of such a heavily fortified building. There is also the keystone. Though it has no discernible writing etched onto the surface besides a relief which vaguely resembles the Drimian symbol for gate, it was not uncommon for the Drimi to use devices such as this, and the Sauralians no doubt reused it. Still nothing more about this supposed curse beyond the writings of Thaddeus. I've seen the old priest several times, but he still maintains the idea. Clara laughs at me, of course. I'm not a superstitious man, but I am a careful one. You don't go on as many journeys as I without coming away with some measure of respect for the local traditions. There's often something to them, no matter how absurd. I don't see why she worries so about Francesco. He's no scholar. The Drimi were an extremely intelligent people, and most of their knowledge is guarded by all sorts of devious traps that would require specialized knowledge to bypass. Knowledge that only someone like myself would have access to, and after all, they don't call me Davidov the Great for nothing. They don't call you Davidov the Great at all. Oh, there was a key in there, you guys, I guess? Hey? Keep forgetting where that second one was, so good thing I ran into it. In it. Oh yeah, it's not a real window, by the way. This bathroom, not a real bathroom. That mirror, not there. It's already sank below the horizon. That cut was completely unnecessary. Aw yee. And so forth. So, alrighty now. I've got, I don't, What do you do? I don't think I have the key to this, do I? A metal key. I think that was for Linda's key. A heavy key. I don't remember what any of these crap's for. One or two of them are for the jewelers. Linda, I've already forgotten who she was. It's pretty hilarious. But we've got Greenwood Apartments, which is a very dumpish apartment, the likes of which I was fortunate not to have to move into because I'm now in this other place that's in, like, I don't know, it's better. It's in a house and it's extremely soundproofed-ish. Well, like, it's extremely thick-walled anyway, so I can go like blah 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 and no one will be the wiser. May or may not be able to do this though, but hey, we've all had neighbors like that, right? Mr. Saldus, your neighbors have been complaining to me about loud music coming from your apartment for extended periods of time, including late evening hours. They claim you leave it playing while you're out, which is most inconsiderate. Please remedy this situation, as I am tired of the complaints. Oliver Gladwell, not to be glad or well much longer if you keep this up. Landlord Greenwood. And at first I thought, well, the guy just left it on because he was playing it and then he got zombified. Sadly, that's not the case. It is simply a joke about annoying neighbors. How utterly indefatigable. Oh yeah, and this ledge here, I guess it's supposed to be helpful or something, but all it does is bump you off the rope, right? Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Notes. You know, it's like, it's not that I don't hear notes right, it's more like I don't remember them right, and when I visualize notes, I always end up visualizing a different picture than what they really are, which is probably the intent with a song, to be more than some of its parts, but unfortunately it makes it rather hard for me to, like, remember to say the right notes because they feel wrong but sound right. Anyways, that's totally irrelevant. There's a zombie here. I'm sure we can avoid and evade. Hey, that was an Avatar The Last Airbender reference. I'm expanding my horizons back to some other thing I knew about 20 years ago. It's definitely 20 years old. Okay. Well, there's the zombie, and he's got a light, so he's got some measure of brain to him. Except we now know he's been hired, which I didn't know the first time I played it. I need to yell because of that god-awful music. What a thing. And he's got a frying pan, which I guess he uses to put this oil of oregano flax up in there. Yeah. Because oil of flax, whatever, is delicious stuff. I mean, I'm sure I'll get some people saying, oh, look at that hippie garbage, probably organic environmental stuff. Like, oh yeah, environmentalism is absolutely terrible. You'd rather have, like, a river that... You don't pick those. A river that's full of oil that burns and air that's like China. That's totally better somehow. Just don't get it. Anyways, yes. Now, here's the thing. Now, I don't think... Get inside the workshop. Once you have something, find... Yeah, this is optional then. And the funny thing is... Sort of spoiler, this gets referenced in a later mission. I wonder if the text changes if you don't get it, or if it's supposed to be someone else that stole it. Yeah, normally such a piece, you could probably sell it back. It's a bonus, yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Anyways. But yes, I don't care if what the oil is. It tastes good on having like way too... I don't care what flax oil is. If it's frickin' like motor oil, I don't care. It tastes good on an enormous heaping bowl of pasta and no vegetables or anything healthy whatsoever. Okay? Great. Fantastic. Oh, yeah. When I'm angry, I become a horse. It helps cheer me up or something. Still haven't seen the horse movie, though. Be honest. No health. No, whatever. Oh, hang on. Oh, shoot. Actually kind of catchy music there. Because, be honest, I don't want to go to the theater and watch Super the movie, right? Theater's even gonna be either gonna be filled with squealing kids or like kids with their mom who's gonna be like, the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout for the whole movie long. That happened one time, actually. Well, not for the whole movie, but yes, I was watching Lord of the Rings Part 3, I guess, the one with Shelob, and as soon as Shelob came up, this mother and child were there, and the mom was just like, started singing that drainpipe spider song. Not like screaming it, but loudly enough that everyone could awkwardly just hear. So, anyways, this is what I'm trying to say that I'm trying to avoid. And or if it was a brony meetup, I'll tell you the truth, I haven't had such an incredible experience with brony meetups. Maybe it's just my city, but I don't really want to go to a theater with either of those situations, so I might just wait for it to come out on blah blah or whatever. Anyways, I wish I could afford a place as nice as my brother's. He has a doorman and nice carpet, not like this rundown tenement. The walls in his place are so thin, every night when Mrs. Robinson next door takes a bath, I can hear the water running through the walls, and it wakes me up. She's a really lovely woman. I get goosebumps when she says hello to me when we pass in the hall. I wonder. Welcome back, the one person who's still watching. Anyway, as slippery as that guy's mind is, I'm gonna have... Oh! Piss off. I'm sure that's how the music sounds. So, yeah, it's actually surprisingly difficult to get down, even when you do have a rope, but sometimes you can kind of go like this. Yeah, totally difficult, anyway. Oh, never nobody mind. Hello, good sir. I'm Diva Supreme. I'm just gonna be referencing Hat Kid Supreme from now on. Just like to play it by myself off camera. You know, I'm almost done it. I mean, there's There's other stuff for me to collect, certainly. But, yeah, pretty much binge-ed the thing. And I don't think you can actually go into this hamburger place right now. It's just like...
Vigilance is our shield. It protects us from our squalid past.
There's nothing there now.
Yeah! You notice how that hammer has almost like 2 different voices that are different? That's nothing to do with anything, I'm totally sure. So just everybody disacknowledge it. Ooh, uh-oh. Aren't there like 12 people here?
Thought I saw something.
Not anymore. You won't be doing any seeing or thinking. Your thinking organ has been deactivated. It may come back, but it may also be heavily damaged. I'm sure it's not my responsibility. Uh-oh.
Hey, get up.
A cop coming into a cop station? No, yeah. And by I mean flash bombs, so. Don't nobody worry about me. I gotta get in that station. It's unbelievably exciting. I know as a thief I shouldn't be waltzing right into a watch vault. It's just so exciting. I can't help just pulling my pants right down and defiling myself in public loudly.
This be a pusher job on private guard duty.
Hey, you. You hear what I said? You didn't care? It's disgusting for a lady. You should have slapped me right away. Also, for some reason, these arrows are funny because they keep being restocked. Floyd. Anyway. Oh, right. Right, that's where it is, guys. Bosley, this is the key to the inventor's apartment. We've had to lock it to keep whatever that thing is that Geordie saw locked in there until the captain gets back day after tomorrow. Captain will know how to handle this, so we can recover the body and begin investigating proper. Till then, keep this key in the safe and don't let anyone have it until I ask for it. Sergeant Brown. Pick Brown. Miller, the inventor, was found dead by a neighbor early this morning in his living room, apparently stabbed to death. The neighbor reported hearing weird noises around daybreak and went to investigate. She found the door unlocked and on opening it saw Miller on the floor just inside the door in a pool of blood. She claimed to hear scary noises coming from the basement and feared that the killer might still be there, so fled the guard post to report the incident. Officer Carson went to investigate, and when he arrived on the scene, he claimed to see a hideous figure dragging Miller's body down the lift shaft into the basement. He said it made odd whirring and clicking noises, and swore he heard it talk, but said it sounded like a machine, but also like a woman. He said he felt threatened by it, so he returned to the watch office for reinforcements. Personally, I think he'd been nipping something, even though it was early morning, but who knows? That inventor probably made some weird things. I'll send a couple of officers over there right away to check it out. Only one man came back from Miller's place. Charlie's nowhere to be found. I've got a team of men scouring the streets with lanterns, but the fog isn't making it any easier. We don't want a panic on our hands. I'd call it a stroke of luck that none of the others were around when Benson came hurtling through the door like the trickster'd come collecting. But damn it, he's my best man, and now I'm afraid he's gone off the deep end. White as a sheet and gibbering like he'd half a tongue, it took me nearly an hour to calm him down enough to where he was even aware of my presence. Even after that, he just sat there staring off into the distance with wild eyes, nearly jumping through the roof every time the taffin door opened. The alarm for my desk clock began whirring, and I thought he was going to cry. Through the whimpering and dark mutterings, I could only make out that there is apparently some sort of dangerous she-beast prowling through Miller's basement. Builder knows what's happened to Charlie. Benson thinks he got out, but couldn't be sure. If there's anything in this world that could turn a big man like Benson into a frightened child, I sure as Taff don't want to meet it. I'm going to wait until the captain returns from leave tomorrow to ask him how we should go about handling this and recovering the body. For now, I had them lower the lift to ground floor and turn off the power to it to keep the thing from crawling out of there until we can figure out how to approach the problem. Thank you for stopping. That cut was extremely necessary. Sacrifices must be made. Also, I have no idea what this is supposed to be referring to. Presumably, it's a reference. Oh, I know what it is. It's Jive Bunny. Yeah. Come on, everybody. Yeah. Well, since I can't seem to get into the greatest place of all time, I guess I'm gonna stop forever now.